So we finished the last preliminary practice, then Guru devotion, precious human life, and after that, a mindfulness death meditation. Now after the death meditation, we talk about the suffering of three lower rims. Now after that, today, refuge. So maybe we're going to give very briefly teaching, then we were going to guide somebody maybe, can you make a mute? Is somebody that still keep a speaker on or something? Yeah. All of you make mute, because it's disturbed. Okay. So like today the refuge teaching, maybe I will going to give you maybe half an hour, then maybe 1 hour we're going to do the practice. I hope all of you got the booklet, right? This Lamrim booklet I sent through the Philip, and I saw the Philip sent it to the Skypes. So I think all of you got this booklet. So we were going to follow that booklet practice through the booklet. So if you didn't download, maybe right now you should download it in the Skype there. If you not receive it, then maybe contact with the Philip. We're going to send it right now, so you should download. And after half an hour, we're going to do the practice based on that booklet. And I will going to guide you a little bit the visualization things. Hopefully that will be helps you future when you practice yourself. And you're really understanding, what kind of visualization we have to do, what kind of meditation we need to do. So still today we can't do very detailed, it's take much longer to go each detailed explanation. So rather I should go a little bit simple explanation, the visualization and so forth. So the refuge, the refuge, how is relative is because the small scope the practitioner mentioned earlier. First, we are very concerned about the suffering of lower rims, the bone in one of the three lower rims, hell rim, hungry ghost, and animal rims. So we are not looking like, animals are suffer there. That's not way. How we practicing is if I am in this realm, if I fall into the animal realms, if I fall into the hell realms, then how much suffer? So it's all put it into yourself. We should put our feet into their shoes. So that's the way the practice on three lower realms suffering. So if I fall into the hell realms, how much suffer of heat and suffering of cold and hot and all these things, and the hungry ghosts and the animals. And so because of course we accumulate so much negative karma, specific 10 non-virtuous karma we accumulated. So these are the causes of one of the three lower rims. So we do have many causes of born in three lower rims. So any circumstances when they arises, we will going to fall down into these three lower rims. So if we fall down into one of these three lower rims, how much it will be suffer. And it's very, very long very long year to live there with physical, mental, emotional sufferings. And they are very, very hard to find the dharma and teachers in those realms. It's very difficult. So that's why we're thinking about ourselves, meditating. It's living with, like for instance, simple thing is, born in animal realms as a animal, as a lion or tiger or any animals, how much I will suffer. All my life is just kill to other beings and eat that and accumulating more negative karma. So born in ocean, majority of the animals live in the oceans. So they're living in the ocean, the creatures who lives in the oceans like creation, so forth, it always have so much scare, suffering of fear of somebody will going to kill us, somebody will going to eat us, and suffering of finding the food, hard to finding the food. So all this suffering, we meditate in ourselves, living in these kind of lives. So you have tremendous fear, having tremendous fear about all these suffering, not only those suffering, also the causes of sufferings, which are one of the 10 non-virtues, 10 non-virtuous actions, the karma, and the negative emotions. So we're knowing these things, and through that we are meditating out of those fear and are having those karma for suffering, causes of suffering. So to get rid of, when you have general, the fear have two things. One is negative, one is the positive fear. So here they're talking about a positive fear. So fear who looking to find to solve the problem, solution. So like, for instance, we have a fear of fear of becoming unhealthy life, so fear of living unhealthy life. Because of that fear, the many peoples we exercising, to how to live healthy. So try to be exercise, try to eat healthy. These are because of the fear of death and fear of sickness. So that fear, help us to focus on today the preparation. Similarly, the fear of all those three lower limbs, and the fear of having causes of these three lower limbs, and who can able to help us. So we're seeking somebody can help us to get rid of those suffering. So when we look there, then the things, only the three things, so that's called the triple gems, right? The three precious jewels, the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, can able to help us. So the test to the three jewels is not just how should we test to the Buddha, how should we test to the Dhamma can able to help us. So in order to test, because fear and the test to the three jewels are the fundamental causes of taking refuge. So that without having these two causes, there's no way, to able to generate refuge. So in order to generate refuge to the three jewels, we have to these two: fear of this suffering and causes of suffering, and the trust to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So these are the two fundamental causes of taking refuge. So to build trust to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, first we have to know who is a Buddha, who is a Dhamma, and who is a Sangha. So through understanding these three jewels, maybe the first we need to understanding the Dharma. So if you understanding the Dharma, then it's easy to understand the Buddha and the Sangha. Without knowing the Dharma, they're very difficult to understand the Buddha. Maybe people should understanding Buddha as historical Buddha. Prince Siddhartha, born in royal family, done this, just a very surface, sort of way of Buddha. That's not enough to take refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. We have to know about the Dharma. So Dharma is the crucial, very important. Otherwise, sometimes people have faith to the Buddha. Oh, Buddha will going to protect us. We bless to the Buddha, or we ask to the Buddha, we offering to the Buddha. The Buddha will going to bless us to clean all those suffering. Sort of, many majority, I think, the Buddhist who not understanding the Dharma correctly, who becoming Buddhist by culture. So many of them has that kind of faith. I think that's not really what you call smart faith. The real faith we need is understanding the Dharma first. So understanding the Dharma then the Buddha, who is the founder of this Dharma, or who is full achieved on this Dharma, then we know who is the founder of Dharma, who is the full achievement of the Dharma. So you can feel tremendous faith to the Buddha through understanding his qualities, his kindness. Then the Sangha members who are on the way, who are practicing this Dharma, who achieve certain level of, the Dharma. So we should bear like a faith, or we should able to develop faith and respect to the Sangha. So that's why the Dharma is the crucial, to take refuge. We have to important to know about the Dharma. So the Dharma, within the Dharma, there are many things. Buddha says, whoever sees interdependent origination, see Dharma. Whoever see Dharma, see Buddha. That's the Buddha says in one of his sutra called the Patita Samuppada Sutra. The Patita Samuppada Sutra, in that sutra says, whoever sees interdependent origination, see Dharma. Whoever see the Dharma, see Buddha. So that's the way of understanding, the smart way of understanding. So interdependent origination, if the person who understanding the interdependent origination, these the people with understanding the ultimate reality, the empty of inherent existence. If you're really, really understanding the emptiness, the ultimate reality, then we know the mind of ego grasping is a mistaken consciousness, wrong consciousness. And we also know mind of ego grasping, the mistaken consciousness can remove, can purify, possible to cease. There is a cessation of mind of ego grasping as they exist. How we know? Because the reality true is every phenomena is an interdependent origination. Every phenomena exists independent on somebody else. There's nothing any exists by its own. So as long as when we understanding that philosophy, the mind of ego grasping, today we have the grasping who grasps every phenomena, including self, exists independently, solidly, inherently, who exists by its own. That kind of grasping mind is, we know this is the wrong consciousness. The wrong consciousness are the temporarily. These are the temporarily, it can removable. It can, possible to purify because these are not the true. These are not a valid cognition. These are invalid cognition. Invalid cognition, understanding because of the reality, everything's a dependent origination. Because of everything's a dependent origination, independent existence, the mind who grasps independent existence is the wrong consciousness. We can able to prove that. Because of that, if there's a wisdom who understanding the ultimate reality, that wisdom can able to purify, clean mind of ego grasping. So when you're able to purify the mind of ego grasping, then that's called the cessation of mind of ego grasping. So all the mental affliction, anger, attachments, all the greedies and jealousy and so forth, selfish and so forth, all of them based on mind of ego grasping. The another way is all those negative emotions, when they grasp any phenomena, they're not only grasping just as a phenomena, they also grasp all those phenomena exist independently. For instance, the attachment. When we attach to our family, when we attach to any process or any material, we are not only attached them as attractive objects, we also attach those attractive objects as the solid, who exists by independently, who's solid there. Based on that, then we attach these are attractive. That's what we attach. When we're angry, the object appear not only unattractive object, also that unattractive object, something solid there, who's completely exists independently without labels by names and thoughts, something solid there. So all the negative thoughts, emotions has, the part of their minds always grasping all the phenomena exist independently. So when we understanding the independent existence of phenomena, any mind who grasps independent existence of phenomena, that's the wrong consciousness. There. When we knowing that, these are possible to change. So there are cessation of all the mental affliction. Other exists. So cessation of mental affliction is the dharma. When we talk about the dharma, dharma doesn't mean something scripture or something there. It's simple. Cessation of anger, cessation of attachment, cessation of negative emotion, cessation of negative karma. These are the one part of dharma. Then another one, second dharma is truth path, the path who leads into that cessations, which are, I mentioned earlier, the wisdom who understanding the ultimate reality, wisdom who understanding the dependent origination, impermanence, or bodhicitta, compassion, love, all those Lamrim practice we have. These are the path who leads into cessation of the suffering and causes of sufferings. So that part is also part of dharma. So that when we talk about the dharma, dharma is, what are the dharma? Dharma means cessation of mental affliction and the sufferings and the causes of sufferings, and the path who leads into that cessation. These are the two called the dharma. So when we always think, when we say dharma, means always we have to know dharma means cessation of suffering and causes of suffering, and the path who leads into that cessation. So the dharma, when you're understanding the dharma, then the Buddha, who is the founder of dharma, not only that, who achieve full of dharma, which means who achieve full of cessation of all the sufferings and the causes of sufferings, even the imprint of cessation of sufferings. And not only that, who achieve full of paths, omniscient, the path is full of bodhicitta, full of wisdom. So every knowledge, full of knowledge who has. So this kind of person, the person who is completely free from all the mental affliction, all the imprint of mental affliction, the person who are full of knowledge, which means perceive each and all phenomena, that kind of person, called the Buddha. Buddha is not only historical. Buddha, which means is the out of the mental qualities. The person who achieve some kind of mental qualities. That's what we label as the Buddha. Enlightened being who has an enlightenment, an enlightened mind, which are the omniscient. So who has the omniscient, which means who cognizing all the phenomena directly. So how should they cognize? Why we are not cognizing? Because we have lots of obstacles, ignorance. So ignorance obstructs to understanding all the phenomena. If the person free from all the ignorance, they can perceive, they can cognize, they can, ascertain all the phenomena. So that's why the enlightened beings. Then the Sangha members. Sangha means arhat beings, Arya beings. It's called supreme beings, four destroyers. So supreme beings means the being who achieve certain level of paths, in order to achieve the enlightenment. There are lots of paths, go very simple way. From the Mahayana side, Mahayana 5-path, Mahayana, accumulation path, preparation path, seeing path, and meditation path, no more learning path. Through the 5 paths, we achieve enlightenment. So Sangha, which means the person who at least achieves seeing path. So the person who achieves seeing path, this kind of person we call Arya beings, supreme beings, who achieve the 4 destroyer, no more learning path, called the 4 destroyers, right? Arhat beings. So the being who achieve seeing path through all those beings is called the Sangha. The real Sangha, it means in Tibetan called Pape Kansa. Pape Kansa means supreme beings. Supreme beings, which means the being who achieve at least seeing path. I think most of you reciting every time the Heart Sutra, right? Tayatha kate kate parakate parasankate buddhi soha. So these mantra, what they're saying is gate, 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 parakate, parasamkate, buddhi soha. 5 parts. Gate or preparation part. No, accumulation part. Second gate, which means preparation part. Paragate, which means the seeing part. Parasamgate, which means the meditation part. Bodhisoha, which means the normal learning part. So when we're reciting Heart Sutra, mantra, kate kate, parakate, parasamgate, buddhi, actually that means the 5 part. Through the 5 part, we achieve the enlightenment. So these 5 part, we have to achieving 5 part through bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. So these are the fundamental dharma. So when you achieve the dharma, simple thing is, if, like, for example, if I achieve compassion to all sentient beings, tremendous love and compassion to my own enemies, if I ever to develop, the first thing is there's no more anger there. My anger will be changed. My anger will be diminished. My anger will be purified. If you have tremendous love to this person, your anger to this person will be changed. Because of cease the anger, not having that anger, your actions become much better. You're mentally more peaceful. You're physically more peaceful. So living with anger, tremendous anger to your enemy, you are suffer. Mentally not happy. Physically, your action becoming very violent. So you accumulate more negative karma, this life suffering, next life sufferings. So if you purify your anger, this life more peaceful, more happier, and your actions, everything's becoming more peaceful, your connection with the other people become much better, your relationship, everything's going to be much better, and through that, you're accumulating so much positive karma, next life much more benefit. So that's called the dharma. So simple dharma. So we need to achieve. So free from, the point is to freedom from the 3 lower limbs, right? How should Buddha Dhamma Sangha can help us to clean, to free us from the 3 lower limbs? It's not just Buddha come here and something blessed and fix my problem. That's not Buddhist belief. The way of their helping is actual refuge object. Actually, who directly helps you? Not the Buddha, not the Sangha, Dharma. Dharma is the actual refuge object. So if you're able to generate Dharma within your mind stream, that will cleanse all your negative emotions, right? Dharma, which means cessation of negative emotion. If you achieve cessation of negative emotion, that means you cease all the negative emotion. If you have no negative mind there, there's no negative karma. So if you don't have negative karma, there's no way to fall down into the lower realms, into the samsara, right? So that's where the dharma, it helps you to save from samsara, save from the 3 lower realms by the dharma. So dharma, we have to accumulate to our mind stream. So in order to generate the dharma, what we need to do, we have to clean each those negative emotions and negative karma. Within the negative emotion, they are very gross, very subtle. That's the way we have to do step by steps. So negative karma, within the negative karma, very bad negative karma, and better, lighter negative karma. So we have to clean all these things. So that's why the dharma can help us to free. But in order to generate dharma within mind stream, we need the Buddha who can teach us, who can guide us, who can inspire us, who can lead us, who have fully qualified to teach us, fully qualified to guide us. So that kind of person, we rely on a Buddha as a teacher, not as a blessing master, not as a something mystical power. We will rely on Buddha as a teacher. So sometimes in the many Buddhists, a specific Asian country, even in Tibetan ourselves, there are many people have sort of different types of faith. They have a tremendous faith to the Buddha, but slightly, for me, always, I'm always skeptical, or always wondering. Most of the faith looks like very different faith. So they just pray to the Buddha, and they think Buddha will something bless you and just clean all your negative karma or something. Then your next life will born in something better life. So the many students, the Dharma students, they believe Pure Lands and Nirvana and so much things. And to achieve the Pure Land, what they're doing, they just recite the Pure Land Buddha's mantra. Some just Om Amideva Shri or Vietnamese Om Adidaba or something like that, that kind of mantra. They're reciting, thousands of thousands, just saying that. And then one day they think it can just born in Pure Land or something. So does not make sense according in the Buddhist really fundamental philosophy. That's the not way to. So Buddha way, and also the Sangha members, we just offering them, and monks can do some kind of blessing and to success. Some of them, unfortunately, people going too much, or to success the business, they ask the Buddha offering, bringing monks and do blessing to success business. Some, unfortunately, to find good family, to find good wife, good husband, something like all those mundane things. They're asking to the Buddha to do prayer. It looks like really not understanding the fundamental concept of the Buddhist. Buddha came here. We have to free from samsara. Samsara is the suffering. We have to get rid of samsara. Falling down into the samsara is always remains suffering. He came here to pull us from the samsara. We're requesting to him, we found all those mundane things. Good success business, good family, nice, beautiful husband or wife, or this or that. That means you are completely contradict with the Buddha saying, these are samsara. We have to get rid of these things. We have to free from them. You're asking him to do these things. It not make sense. So that means they really don't understanding about Dharma, Buddhism. So if you really want to success the business, I think that if you are smart, instead of ask to the Buddha, rather you should ask the businessman to learn how to do the business. It's not about the Buddha. Buddha came in his teaching we have more than hundreds of volumes. I never saw anything who teach about how to do the business well. Never teach these things there. So we are asking completely different, that misunderstanding. And sometimes fundamental Buddhist concept, we are not believing creator. There's no creator, which means suffering, you created, causes condition. Suffering because of causes. You have to clean the causes. Four Noble Truths, that's the Buddhist concept. Truth of suffering, because truth of origin of suffering. And also truth of origin of sufferings, you can change it. Cessation of suffering. You can clean that. To achieve cessation of suffering, truth path. Practice the paths. That's the fundamental Buddhist concept. Then you going asking to the Buddha or do everything to us looks like you believe in Buddha as a creator. He can fix it. He can do everything. Looks like you believe in creator. The people who believe in the God, they also ask to the God. For them, completely makes sense. Their fundamental philosophy is everything's made by creator. So you ask to the creator, the God can fix us. You just faith to them, they will fix because they create you. They fix your problems. Buddhist concept is not that way. Our concept is the fundamental Four Noble Truths. Suffering because of causes of suffering. If you don't want this suffering, you have to clean the causes of sufferings. You are the troublemaker, you have to fix. This is completely self-responsibility. But in order to clean that, how should we clean? Through the Dharma. So in order to generate Dharma, we need Buddha, who teach us, who guide us, who fully experience about it, fully understanding about it. We rely on Buddha as a teacher. So if you're smart, if you want to use Buddha as excel, if you want to use him as a Buddha, then you have to use him as a teacher. That's the purpose of Buddha came to this planet. Then the Sangha, who's the supporter, companion. So we rely on these three jewels, and like a simple, like we are the patient. Tremendous disease we have, very fragile. So we have a disease of negative emotion, disease of negative karma, disease of all this suffering. In order to clean the disease, heavy disease, what we need the doctor, medicine, and the nurse. So the doctor who tell you, this is the disease, you need to take this medicine, you need to do this. He's the person who teach you, who guides you. And the some sisters and nurse, they support you. They give you the medicine at the correct time. They give you the, all this supports you to recover. And actually who helps you, the medicine, is really when you take the medicine, medicines will going to cure your disease. Similarly, Buddha as a doctor, Dharma as a medicine, Sangha as a nurse and sister, you are the patient, full of suffering of negative emotions and all the physical, mental sufferings we have. In order to cure those suffering, in order to free from those suffering, we need Buddha as a doctor, Dharma as a medicine, Sangha as a supporter. Then you take responsibility. You have to take a medicine, you have to do what the doctors say. If you don't do that, same problems. So similarly, this is self-responsibility. We rely on these three, but the main thing is my own responsibility to study, to meditate, to practice. What the Buddha said, do it. When they say don't do it. So these things, what advice in the Dharma, according in the Dharma, we follow the Dharma, practice cleansing day by day. Those negative karma, slow day by day, we should reduce our negative emotion. That's why we are getting better. We're healing. We are getting closer to the enlightenment. That's the way it helps to us. So we have a tremendous faith and trust, respect to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha can able to help us to understanding the Dharma. So out of these two causes, fear, fear of three lording, suffering of three lording, samsara, suffering of mental afflictions, and so forth, and the trust, undestructible trust to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha can able to help us. Out of these two causes, when you're fully relying on the Buddha Dhamma Sangha from deep of your heart, fully able to rely on your Buddha Dhamma Sangha can able to clean me, tremendous faith to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. When you're able to do that, then you have a refuge. So when you have the refuge, you become a Buddhist. Without refuge, no Buddhist. So Buddhist or non-Buddhist based on the taking refuge to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So that's refuge. Okay, now today I lived here a little bit. Maybe next time continues refuge, little bit detail explanation. So today we're going to follow the practice, which I sent it to you. I think all of you have this booklet, right? Did you print it?
Yep.
Where is the Okay, it's not coming in here. So now we're going to do the practice. First, do all of you have that book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody, right?
Yes, thanks, Geshe.
Okay. So then we are going to follow the booklet. So today I will going to explain a little bit, and each time maybe more detail. The first we're going to do the taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. So in order to take refuge and generating bodhicitta, I mentioned earlier the refuge, which means I mentioned earlier, fully convinced to the Buddha Dhamma. I will going to guide the meditation first. But the first what we need to do is we should visualize the refuge field. So the refuge field, if you go very detailed, then Buddha Shakyamuni as a center, then the lineage masters, the lineage of profound view, lineage of extensive deeds, and the lineage of the Vajrayana lineage master. All this quite complicated, I think, the initial practice. But if you want to know detail, you can read it. The Liberation of Palm of Your Hand has all those detailed information there, all those detail. So today I will going to do very simple. So now you should first visualize front of you, maybe 6 feet, at front of you, 6 or 7 feet, and the high level is not too high, just your eye level and eyesight. So that kind of level, front of you, beautiful lotus flower. You don't need to visualize huge, big lotus. It's just maybe, 3 or 4 or 5 inches of the lotus. Upon the lotus flower, you should visualize sun and moon cushion, like a sun and moon, like a disc, a cushion upon the lotus. So upon this cushion, you should visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, maybe 3-4 inches, and his body is like a rainbow body, pure golden color, wearing those monk's robes. In his right hand, he holds a baking bowl filled with the nectars. And his left hand holding the baking bowl with the meditation posture and filled with the nectars, and his right hand, giving the teaching mudra, touching under his right knee. And his right side, which is dharma, cessation of all the sufferings and the truth paths, the whole the Lamrim practice, is a form of textbook. Then the front of him, just below the lotus, you should visualize the sanghas, bodhisattvas, arhat and arya beings, and wearing the monk robes, and just in front of him, 3 of them, visualize. That's the simple refuge field. Now you should visualize yourself as a leader, surrounded by all sentient beings in the form of human. At your right, you should visualize your families, your friends, and your relatives, one by one. In front of you, you should visualize your enemies. Enemy doesn't mean from overseas or something. Enemy means the people who harms you, who always makes trouble in your office and neighbors, or even your families, who makes you really angry, who bothers you every time, who creates you stressed and depressed. You don't want to talk to them. You feel angry toward them. These are the people you should visualize in front of you. You ever feel fear toward them? These are the people you should visualize in front of you. And at your left, visualize the neutral beings. Neutral beings, which means you know them from your office, from your neighbors, whatever, but you don't have any relationship. You have no feeling close. You don't have even feeling distant toward them. So the neutral, maybe 5 to 10 people, you should visualize at your left. And all other sentient beings you should visualize at your back. So now first we should meditate mantra of equanimity toward all of them. So in order to generate equanimity, we should think as our mind toward other sentient beings. We are not honest. We are very biased. We are very, very dishonest. Certain people we feel very close, so we treat them very nicely. Certain people we feel very distant, we treat them very bad. Certain people we just ignore, so we treat other people really, really unequal, biased. Just be honest, look yourself and identify. We're very dishonest. But the reality, all sentient beings is equal, because it's not way of the things. We should look in the fundamental level. So that in the fundamental level, all of those beings have completely same desire. Your families, at your right, deep of their heart, they want happy, peace, healthy life. Nobody wants sufferings. And the neutral beings at your left have completely same desire. Their fundamental, innate, natural desires are completely same. Then you should look in front of you, your enemies, as also same, completely same desire. Deep of their heart, they want to live happy, peace, healthy. Nobody wants sufferings. Finally, to all sentient beings, apply to every being in this planet, and all of them have completely same desire. Nothing differences at all. Upon there, they have a completely same equal right to overcome suffering, to achieve peace and happiness. We have a right to do. Our family and friends at our right, they also have a right to achieve peace and happiness and to overcome sufferings. You should apply at your left. The neutral beings have completely same right. Apply apply to your enemies in front of you have also same right. Finally, all sentient beings, all of them have equal right to overcome suffering, achieve peace and happiness. And our ultimate goals are also same. Your family goals are also ultimate peace, ultimate happiness. That's the main goal. The neutral beings at your left have completely same. The main goal is ultimate peace, happiness. The enemies in front of us has completely same goal. Finally, all sentient being has same goal. So from their side, they have a completely same desire, completely equal right, same purpose, same goal, nothing differences at all. Understanding that, so the temporary secondary level is always differences, but these are just temporarily. It's not reliable. The main thing is fundamental level. So fundamental level, all of them is same desire, same goal at your parents in the past so many times. My family, my mom in this life, she's not only being my mom in this life only, she also been my mom in past and past life countless times. All my families at Riara, they also been our mom in the past countless times. The reason is because my life and their life is beginningless. Same you should apply to the left neutral beings. Today we have no relationship, but in the past they also been in our parents countless times. Same reason. Then apply to the enemies. These life we are enemies, but in the past they also been our parents, supporters countless times. Finally, all sentient beings, all of them being our families, supporters, best friend in the past, countless times. Because our life and their lives beginningless. Also, all of them being our enemies, strangers, countless time in the past. So my family at right, today we are very close, but they also been in my enemy in the past countless time. So they all are equal. They also been in your family, they also been in your enemies in countless time. So from their side, also equal, they all have completely same desire, same purpose. But unfortunately, our attachment and anger divided them to make somebody very close, somebody feel distant. That one's own attachment and anger divided them. Reality, all of them are equal. True that you should generate mind of equanimity. Equanimity, which means not female as a male, male as a female, enemy as a family, that we can change it, that already there. What we need to feel equal, which means because of family, feeling of closeness, because of enemy in this life, feeling of distant, that we need to change. The feeling toward them, it's equal. Not feeling close to anybody, not feeling distant to anybody. Feel completely same, equal to all sentient beings, through understanding all of them being your family and enemies, all of them have same desire, same purpose. There's nothing, feel some close and distance. Through that, we should meditate on mind of equanimity toward all sentient beings. Make sure you feel completely equal toward all sentient beings. Based on equanimity toward all sentient beings, we should first remember others' kindness. The family at your right, you should remember their kindness of supporting you, helping you. Any kindness you remember, you should remember those. Any kindness you know from them, you should remember those. At your left, you should also remember the neutral beings, kindness of being not harming us. They have anger, they do have attachments, they have so many negative emotions, negative actions, but fortunately, they didn't harm us. The kindness of not harming us. Appreciate that kindness. For the enemy at front of us, because of enemy, we have a very good opportunity to exercise our tolerance, patience. It's one of the best opportunity to develop patience and tolerance because of enemies. So to remember their kindness of being patient teacher, being tolerance teachers. And we should generally remember others' kindness. The education today we have is from others, from teachers, classmates, administrations, people who build the schools, people who create this education systems, and there are millions of beings sacrificed their life to get those information, those knowledge. So now today we're receiving all those knowledge, we're benefiting us, the food we eat. There are millions of beings working very hard. They sacrifice their life. And today we are benefiting, eating those foods. The clothes we wear, it's also others' kindness. The shelter where we stay is others' kindness. The road where we drive, also many of people's working very hard to make these roads. We get benefiting. So all those others' kindness. Finally, to develop love and compassion to all sentient beings, others' kindness. Without other, we can't develop love and compassion to others. So meditating bodhicitta, to achieving bodhicitta is because of others' kindness. Finally, to achieve enlightenment is because of others. Without others, we can't achieve enlightenment. So appreciate all others' kindness. Through that we should feel affection, love, which means feel very close to all sentient beings, feel dear to all sentient beings, called mind of endearment. How much you feel dear to your own child, your own parents? Same that kind of closeness, feel dear to entire sentient beings. At your right, your left to neutral beings, front of to your enemies, behind all sentient beings. Meditate. Sense of closeness toward all of them. All those dear sentient beings wants to live happy. Nobody wants sufferings, but unfortunately, living under the influence of mind of ego grasping, selfish, attachment, anger, all the negative emotions. Because of living under the influence of negative emotions, they accumulate so much negative karma. The decisions become wrong, mistake. The planning is mistake, negative. The action is negative. That's why the results, today, all of them are tortured by the sufferings. The suffering of sufferings, which means the millions of beings born in war zone, very scary life. Millions of beings are suffering of killing each other, abusing each other. Millions of beings living with suffering of poor and suffering of disease and illness, fearful, painful disease and illness, suffering of aging, suffering of death and dying. Either they are experiencing those suffering, either they will going to experiencing all these sufferings. So meditate all these physical sufferings they have. They have the mental sufferings, stress, depression, fear, worry, anxiety, and so forth. Doesn't matter, educate, uneducate, rich, poor, high class, low class, powerful person or no powerful person. Everybody has those mental sufferings. And suffering of changing. All those mundane pleasure, they will work very hard to achieve that. When they achieve all these things, mundane pleasure, finally everything is turned into sufferings. Then one of the worst suffering is suffering of pervasive suffering of conditioning, which means suffering of living under the influence of selfish, mind of ego grasping, anger, hatred, attachments, greediness, and jealousy, and so forth. That's why they accumulate negative karma. Therefore, they are circling in samsara from beginningless to till today with physical, mental, emotional sufferings. So meditate all these sufferings toward all sentient beings. Through that, we should generate compassion to all beings. Wish each and all beings be free from sufferings and be free from causes of sufferings, which are their negative emotions and negative karma. So meditate on compassion to all. And it's so important, not only thinking, we should rather feel, experience from bottom of your heart, wish each and all beings be free from sufferings and the causes of sufferings. Go each of them, go all of them, completely same wish, either your family, either your enemies, wish them to be free from sufferings and the causes of sufferings. Now you should meditate unusual attitude, which means special compassion, means wish to help them. Not only wish to free from their suffering, wish to help them. Seeing them as your own child, that sense of self-responsibility, you need to determine it from bottom of your heart. I will going to help them to release their sufferings and causes of sufferings. Me myself will help them release their sufferings and causes of sufferings. I will going to save them from their sufferings and the causes of suffering. I will going to protect them. So meditate on unusual attitude or special compassion, much more powerful compassion. Not only wish to free from suffering, wish to help them, wish to save them. Entire beings, equally, save them. With inner confidence, inner strength, willpower, out of that feel, experience, I will going to help them, save them from their sufferings and causes of sufferings. So in order to protect them from suffering, in order to save them from suffering, Today, in this situation, how should we help? Even oneself is too much suffering. Very difficult to help the entire beings. So, only one of the best way to help the other is if oneself achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, then we can able to help the entire beings. Through that you should generate strong desire, wish to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, and the main purpose of achieving Buddhahood is to save all other sentient beings, to benefit them, to save them, to protect them. To meditate on bodhicitta, wish to achieve enlightenment to save of all sentient beings. Make sure you feel that, not only thinking. Desperate to achieve enlightenment, to main purpose is to benefit to entire sentient beings, all sentient beings. In order to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, first oneself need to purify your own mental afflictions, one's own mind of ego grasping, all those obstacles who obstruct to achieve enlightenment. So in order to purify those obstacles, those negative emotions, who can able to help us? The Dharma. So if we generate Dharma, the cessation of all the negative emotions and sufferings, and the path who leads into cessation, if we are able to generate Dharma within our mind, that will going to clean all our negative emotions. That will going to lead us into enlightenment. But in order to generate the Dharma within our mind stream, we need teacher, excellent, qualified teachers, which are the Buddhas. Seeing them as a teacher. At the same time, we need, in order to success the Dharma, achieve success to Dharma, we need also the supporter, which are the Sangha members, Bodhisattvas and Arhat Arya beings, seeing them as a Dharma supporter, spiritual companion, Dharma friends. These are the three jewels can only help us to purify all those sufferings and causes of sufferings and lead us into enlightenment. So fully trust, convince, believe, fully rely on Buddha Dhamma Sangha in order to free from one's own suffering and causes of sufferings, in order to benefit to all sentient beings. Take refuge to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha from bottom of our heart, fully rely on them. Dharma as an actual refuge object, Buddha as a teacher, Sangha as a supporters. And generate compassion to all sentient beings who are experiencing all these sufferings, and generate bodhicitta, wish to achieve enlightenment to sake of all sentient beings. Out of those intentions, we are going to recite 3 times, taking refuge and generating bodhicitta prayer. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the superior Sangha. Through the virtues of giving and so forth that I do, may I achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the superior Sangha. Through the virtues of giving and so forth that I do, may I achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the superior Sangha, through the virtues of giving and so forth that I do, may I achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Now the four immeasurable practice, the prayer. So we don't have time to guide the meditation. So during the recitation, those prayer, we are going to recite one time together. We should make sure, those prayers come from one's own heart. We feel that. It's called the mental reflection meditation. So we will reflect the meaning of those words, and we should try to feel from our heart and recite this prayer. So we are going to recite four immeasurable prayer one time together. How wonderful it will be if all sentient beings were in equanimity, free from attachment and hatred, which keeps some beings close and others far. May they be in equanimity. I myself will make them be in equanimity. Please, Guru deities, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it will be if all sentient beings had happiness and the causes of happiness. May they have happiness and its causes. I myself will make them have happiness and its causes. Please, Guru deities, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it will be if all sentient beings were released from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be released from suffering and its causes. I myself will release them from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru deities, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it will be if all sentient beings were never separated from sublime happiness of release and the happiness of higher rebirths. May they not be separated from this. I myself will make them not be separated from this. Please, Guru deities, bless me to be able to do this. Now the special bodhicitta. May I, by any means, attain the precious state of completely perfected enlightenment, fast and swift, for the benefit of all mother sentient beings. Toward this end, I shall engage in the cultivation of the stages of the path in conjunction with the profound practice of Guru Deity Yoga. Now you should meditate all your refuge objects you have right now. Refuge field. It dissolves into the Buddha, the center refuge field, Buddha. All of them dissolves into the Buddha. Then size of Buddha is getting smaller, 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 finally half an inch. And it comes to our crown. And it sits on our crown. Then go down through your central channel from crown to throats, throats to hearts. Finally, it dissolves into your heart. Visualize Buddha Dhamma Sangha that blessed us. And generate full joyfulness and bliss. And think, I am very fortunate to have this opportunity. Strong grasp oneself. I am fortunate, like just intentionally create strong grasping, grasp oneself. I. And the one part of your mind, investigate and find it, identify. When you grasp self, the self which we grasping right now is the self who exists independently. without labels by names and thoughts on our five aggregates, without depending on five aggregates. Self who exists inherently, who exists by its own, solid, absolute, objectively, some kind of like pointable, findable self. You should identify your own mind of ego grasping way to grasping the self. It's something solid. We never think self is just labeled by names and thoughts to our five aggregates. We really believe in self in something who exists solid there. So identify that object of negation. What we grasping, identify that. If the self really exists independently, inherently, where we grasp, if they really exist like that, then of course, then when we investigate, we need to find it. We have to find it that. So we should investigate any part of your body. Can you find you self? Your head, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, your inner organs, heart and kidneys and lungs and all those detailed organs. None of them are the self. We can't find any part of our body self. And find it. We can investigate our mind, any part of our mind, our eye sense, ear sense, nose, tongue, body sense, consciousness, mental consciousness. None of these consciousness is a self. Within the mental consciousness, we have a positive mind, negative minds. So each of them. So through the investigate, it's not findable there. It's going to be self, looks like a disappear. Any part of our body, any part of our mind, there's no self. So that means self is just we label, we just designate it, impute it on one's own five aggregates. In other words, we designate it on one's own body and mind. None of them are the self. None of those five aggregates are the self. Body and mind is the self. None of them are self. But we just label on there. It's just functioning as a self. So independent existence of self, which we're grasping right now, is the empty, non-exist. So meditate on selflessness. Then we should meditate now, same. Our five aggregates, body, our feeling, consciousness, discrimination, compositional factors, all of them also, if you investigate, they are also not exist independently. Our bodies are dependent on each own parts. Those parts are dependent on each own particles. Particles are dependent on each own particles. So when we investigate, all of them are also going to be disappear. Our consciousness or the minds are also dependent on the part of the times. So none of things are independently there. So all our five aggregates are also empty of inherent existence. Meditate on emptiness of five aggregates. Not only the self empty, even our five aggregates are also empty of inherent existence. Now we should apply to all the land where we stay, the house, all those material, all these phenomena surrounded us. They are also same nature. They're also empty of inherent existence. So meditate on all the phenomena, the beautiful lands and the house and where we stay, also the emptiness, empty nature. Meditate on their also emptiness. So now this wisdom of emptiness right now you have, everything's an empty nature, like a space, all of them. Now the consciousness, the awareness, or understanding this all the ultimate reality you have right now, visualize that wisdom, form of beautiful land, smoothly made by lapis lazuli, which is your own wisdom of emptiness, form of beautiful, huge, big land made by lapis lazuli, very, very soft, smooth, beautiful land. Okay, now we're going to recite the blessing the land and the offering. So you should keep that same visualization and recite the blessing the land prayer. May all lands free from obstacles remain pure and smooth as the nature of lapis lazuli, and even as the palm of my hand. May offerings sustain human and divine, those actual and those which are emanated, unsuppressed samatha patra offerings fill the entire space. Now we should say, meditate on. We are going to recite the blessing, offering the blessing offerings 3 times the mantra. First time when we recite, we should meditate all those offerings, water, incense, lights, and perfume, all of them as an empty nature, ultimate reality. So after meditation and emptiness of all the offerings, we are going to recite mantra 1 time together. Om Namo Bhagavate Benza Sara Chamadani Tata Kataya Arahati Samya Sambuddha Deyata Om Benze Benze Ma Benze Ma Tenza Benze Ma Biya Benze Ma Bodhi Jita Benze Ma Bodhi Mendo Pasan Chamana Benze Sawakama Awarana Pishudani Benza Yesoha. Now you should visualize those wisdom who understanding the ultimate reality of offerings are transformed into the beautiful offerings, like pure, clean, one of the best qualities of flowers, incense, lights, perfume, waters, and so forth. Pure and beautiful. So during the recitation, the mantra, we should visualize that. Om Namo Bhagavate Benza Sara Chamadani Tata Kataya Arahati Samya Sambuddhaya Deyata Om Benze Benze Ma Benze Ma Teza Benze Ma Biya Benze Ma Bodhi Jita Benze Ma Bodhi Mendra Pasan Chamana Benze Sawakama Awarana Bishutani Benza Yesoha. Now the third time when we recite the mantra, you should visualize all those offerings are becoming multiplied, full of space of flowers, incense, light, music, and so forth. Om Namo Bhagavate Benza Sara Chamadani Tata Kataya Arahati Samyak Sambuddhaya Deyata Om Benze Benze Ma Benze Ma Teza Benze Ma Biya Benze Ma Bodhi Jita Benze Ma Bodhi Mendra Pasan Chaman Benza Sawakama Awarana Bishudani Benza Yesoha. Now we're going to recite the prayer called the prayer of truth word. So when we're reciting this prayer, you should we request to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and three jewels, we request them, whatever we visualize, all of them become a really truth. Out of that visualization, we are going to recite a prayer. By the force of the truth from the three jewels of refuge, by the firm aspiration from all Bodhisattvas and Buddhas, by the powers of all the Buddhas who have fully completed their collections of both good merit and insights, by the mind of the void, inconceivable and pure, may all of these offerings be hereby transformed into their actual nature of voidness. You should visualize Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and all the Bodhisattvas that blessed. Whatever we visualize, it's become a real. Okay, now we are going to do, these are the preliminary practice. Now we finished the preliminary practice. Now out of that same bodhicitta, we have to do the 100 deities of Toshita invocation prayer. It's called the 100 deities of Toshita. So what you need to visualize is just see behind my, at the left side, that's the visualization. So in here, going to the top there, above the Lama Tsongkhapa, you should visualize like a front of us above in the sky, beautiful monastery, the temple called the Toshita heaven. Beautiful clouds upon their beautiful temple, and the front of the temple you should visualize the Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha, whose posture is sitting on the chair, not across the leg, like sitting on the chair. So big, beautiful, golden throne. He's seated on sitting on the chair. At his right, you should visualize Lama Atisha, one of the Indian great master Atisha, wearing the red colors of hat and monk robe. His left, visualize Lama Tsongkhapa, wearing the yellow colors of hat and the monk robes. And the front of the Maitreya Buddha, you should visualize Bodhisattvas, disciples who are taking teaching from him. And you should also visualize, we also hearing those teaching from Maitreya. We make connection from toward him. And out of strong compassion to all sentient beings who surrounded you, and out of strong faith and respect to Lama Tsongkhapa, and we request to Maitreya Buddha, please, send the Lama Tsongkhapa. We request to Lama Tsongkhapa also, please come in this planet and help to all sentient beings who has tremendous suffering by ignorance, negative emotions, strong faith and respect to Lama Tsongkhapa, and strong compassion to all sentient beings. At the same time, we should visualize in front of us, there's lots of offering deities, male and females, who holds the beautiful music instruments, incense, victory banners, and so forth. So they're all together inviting Lama Tsongkhapa from Toshita heaven to here. So Maitreya Buddha, from his heart, emanate the white curved light directly straight toward your crown or forehead. So when we're reciting the invocation prayer, you should visualize from that light, Lama Tsongkhapa and two disciples slowly comes and seated in front of us, above like a 6-7 foot front of us, and the high level is your eye level. So he's sitting on the beautiful thrones with the lotus flower and sun and moon cushion, centered Lama Tsongkhapa. At your right, his senior disciple Geshe, little bit older monk, and his left junior disciple, Chitubje, younger, quite serious disciple. So these three, when we're reciting invocation, you visualize the three come and sit in front of us. And all the offering goddess, male and female, very exciting, reciting prayer with a beautiful tune and welcoming them. So out of those visualizations, we are going to recite the 100 deities of Toshita invocation prayer. From the heart of the protector of the hundreds of the deities of Toshita, the land of joy, comes a cloud that resembles a mass of fresh white curd. I supplicate to you, omniscient Lobsang Trapa, king of the Dharma, together with your spiritual disciple, be present here upon it. Now you should visualize he's in front of us with the beautiful thrones, sitting on this beautiful throne, and very smiling, looking us, feel very close to us. They're completely same as the tanka behind me. You should visualize these three like same like that. Now first we are going to do the supplication prayer. The supplication prayer is we first, are supplicating him, requesting him stay in these planets like eons and eons. Very important to first stay very long life in here. So now Lama Tsongkhapa is not only you visualize as a Lama Tsongkhapa, we should visualize all our root teacher, our direct teachers we have right now, all our lineage master, Buddhas and Buddhists are all of them in one form as a Lama Tsongkhapa form. So they're all in one form as Lama Tsongkhapa. So don't think it is only Lama Tsongkhapa. All your direct teachers are also the Lama Tsongkhapa form. They're all in one in front of us. So we request him to stay eons and eons here and to spread the teachings and to benefit to others. So out of strong compassion to all sentient beings, strong faith to Lama Tsongkhapa, they're going to recite the supplication prayer. O Venerable Guru, smiling with delight, seated on loin throne, lotus and moon in the space before me, I request you remain for hundreds of eons to spread the teachings and be the supreme field of merit for my mind of faith. Now the prostration. So visualize oneself, remember Lama Tsongkhapa's qualities, our Guru's qualities and their kindness through their strong faith and respect attitude to Lama Tsongkhapa, toward all our Gurus and all other sentient beings. They together we prostrating through our body, speech and mind to him. Your mind comprehend and the full extent of what can be know. Your speech with its excellent explanations become the ornament for those of good fortune. Your handsome body is redeemed with glories and renown. I prostrate to you whom to see, hear, or recall is worthwhile. Now the offering. So we already blessed this on an earlier offering. So all the offering deities are surrounded us. So when we're reciting this offering, you visualize all the offering deities. Flowers, incense, lards, and perfume, and music, and food, and so forth. Pleasing of water offerings, various flowers, fragrant incense, light and scented water, these oceans of such cloud-like offering, both real and imaginate, I present to you, O supreme field of merit. Now the confession. Out of regret to all our negative karma we accumulated in the past, and we confess, apologize to three Lama Tsongkhapa with two retinues, and then after we need to promise. So out of strong regret first toward all your negative karma you accumulated in the past, now we are going to do confessing. Whatever non-virtues of body, speech, and mind I have accumulated from beginningless time, and especially any transgression of my 3 vows, I confess over and again from my heart. To confess them. Now we should promise, future we're not going to do that again. Now we should rejoicing. Rejoice with your one's own virtues and merits. Rejoice others' virtues and merits. Rejoice all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Lama Tsongkhapas, their merit and virtues. Discarding the 8 worldly concern, you exert yourself in much hearing and practice. Here in this age of generation, thus giving great meaning of life endowed with leisure and fortune, we rejoice wholeheartedly, O Lord, in your magnificent accomplishments. Now the requesting, may the clouds of your great ocean and compassion gather in the sky of Dhammakaya and showering the profound and vast teachings on the ground of your disciples according to their diverse needs. Now finally, dedication. I dedicate whatever virtues I have ever collected for the sake of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and especially for the essential teachings of Venerable Lobsang Tapa to shine forever. Now the mandala offering. Okay, how much the time? Oh yeah, time is almost now. So we're going to do only the short mandala, outer mandala in English. Outer mandala are the short and auspicious prayer. So all your virtues and your merit you have right now, all those virtues and merit you should visualize as a universe, huge big universe offered to Lama Tsongkhapa and to Retniks. This ground anointed with the incense and strewn with the flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, sun and moon, I offer visualize as a Buddha realm. May all migrate enjoy this completely pure realm. Please bless me that the lives of the glorious Gurus be long, that they be happiness and comfort everywhere, equaling space, and that myself and others, without exception, accumulate and collection of merit and wisdom, purify the aspirations, and quickly achieve Buddhahood. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyataya Me. Now we call supplication the 3 purpose. After finish the Miss Mandala, now we offer the mandala. Now we request, 3 purpose. So we're going to recite that. I go for refuge to the Guru and 3 precious jewels. May you kindly bless my mind stream. May I be blessed so that all the misperception from the disregard to one's master to grasping at the true fabricate self-identity are discontinued. May I be blessed so that all the right perception from the proper regard to one's master to disappearing, the true selflessness arising effortlessly. May I be blessed so that all the obstruction conditions, both internal and external, are thoroughly pacified. Now you should visualize Lama Tsongkhapa accept our request. So 2 disciples are dissolved back to the Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Tsongkhapa's like a throne is dissolved back to the lotus flower. And the size of Lama Tsongkhapa only become 1 inch. So we are now going to invite him toward our crown. We're going to recite the invitation prayer. During that time, you should visualize he slowly comes and sits upon our crown. O glorious and precious root Guru, please come to your lotus and moon seated at my head. Hold me in your great kindness and bestow the blessing of your body, speech, and mind. Now you should visualize he is toward upon our crown. Now we skip this 3 principal aspect of the path practice. We skip it today. We don't have that much time. We have what you have? You have a lamrim, the source of good quality there?
Yeah, foundation.
Foundation of good quality.
Yes.
Okay, so that one is, where is it? I hope it might be in there. Okay, so we're going to recite the foundation of good quality, and these are the whole lumbering practices in there. So if you're able to memorize this, that will be really, really very good. So with reciting this prayer, we should meditate together, you know. So he's sitting our ground. So when we request him, please bless us, that time you should visualize from his heart emanate the nectars and dissolving into our heart, and blessing, you know, blessing of achieving the Guru devotion, precious human life, that meditation, renunciation, compassion, bodhicittas, and so forth. Each time when we recite, we visualize from his heart emanate nectars and blessing our mind stream. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with a great respect, understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the result of black and white karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me able to be careful to abandon even the slightest of negativities and accomplish all victorious deeds. Seeking samsaric pleasure is the door to all sufferings. There are uncertainty and cannot be relied upon. Recognize these shortcomings. Please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, awareness, and great cushions arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Patimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of hearing migratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta without practicing the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment with my clear recognition. Please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distraction to wrong object the correct analysis and meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the undefined path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the whole gateway of the once green watcher vehicle. At that time, the basic way of accomplishing the true attainment is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firm convinced to this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledge like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up at the fourth session, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friend who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrance. In all my life, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the manifestation dharma by completely and equally of the stages and the paths. May I quickly attain the stages of the Vajradhara. Okay, now we visualize him upon our crown. Now we're going to do the simple. We don't have that much time now. Only to do the death meditation, the simple death meditation, impermanence, to overcome our attachments. So visualize him upon our crown. He is sitting on the beautiful lotus and moon cushion. Upon there, Lama Tsongkhapa. We request him, please bless us to develop all those high realizations. Bless us to purify all the obstacles, external, internal obstacles are purified. From his heart emanate the nectars, dissolves into one's own heart, and purify all the obscurations. Bless us to generate all the high realizations. First, we should meditate very short Guru devotion. Remember Lama Tsongkha upon our crown, and all our gurus, our direct teachers, the same upon our crown. Remember their qualities of body, speech, and minds. Specifically, we should appreciate their kindness of teaching the Dharma, leading us. There are so many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas came in this world, but for us, the teacher will show the ordinary forms and guide us, teach us, inspire us, lead us into the enlightenments. So appreciate all those kindness and generate strong faith and respect attitude toward our gurus. Tremendous devotion, same as the Buddha, seeing Guru as a more kinder than all the Buddhas. For us, through that develop strong faith and respect attitude, devotion toward our Guru. And we should remember this precious life we have right now, precious human life, and it's very important. And that we have, if we achieve enlightenment, today the life we have has full potential to achieve enlightenment. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they achieve enlightenment through the life they have. It's completely same we have right now. So we should really, really appreciate this kind of precious human life we have. And it's very difficult to find in the future. So through that we should stimulate oneself. The life we have right now is a very, very precious, very important, one of the best realm to achieve enlightenment. This life we have a full tool to achieve enlightenment. So therefore we are not going to waste this precious human life. We're not going to use just for mundane. We are going to take full advantages. So stimulate oneself to take full advantages of this life, which is the Dharma. So if you don't use this perfectly, if you don't take advantages, then one day we will going to lose this life. Death is certain. So meditate, death is certain. One day definitely I will going to die. The reason is there are so many conditions for death. Food can condition. The driving, everything can become in condition of death. There are very little condition for survive. And the lot of death definitely comes. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can avoid it. So through that we should really feel one day I will going to lose all my families, everything. Meditate, death is certain. One day definitely going to die. Death is part of our life. When you feel fear a little bit, that fear, you should use it to determine oneself. I will practice the Dharma. I will going to use this life to practice the Dharma. All these things are temporarily. I will going to lose them. That is certain. Therefore, how long I will stay, I have to use this precious human life for the Dharma. You should strongly determine it. Then second, the time of death is uncertain. Who knows? Next year, you're going to die, or next month, next week, or tomorrow, or tonight. There's no guarantee. Permitted that the time of death is uncertain. Nobody knows. In general, in this world, the time of death is uncertain. Even the many young people are dying, many healthy people are dying. And day by day, second by second, we are getting closer, closer, closer to the death. Meditate, the time of death is uncertain. Make sure you are feeling from bottom of your heart, you're really believing the time of death is uncertain. Another word is the time of separate with your family, time of separate with all those possessions, powers, the monies, the material you have is uncertain. Nobody knows tomorrow or next week, nobody knows. Through that fear you have, you should use that fear to determine yourself. I have to practice right now. I have to practice the Dharma right now, not delay. I have to use this precious human life. Practice the Dharma right now, not after the retirement, not after next year, right now, because the lot of death will comes and nobody can avoid it. And there's no guarantee when will he come. So you should strongly determine it from bottom of your heart. Should be using this precious human life is to practice the Dharma right now. Then the third, at the time of death, nobody can help except Dharma. Our family is not going to help you. All the material you have right now, the possessions you have right now, nobody can help you at the time of death. Even this body you have right now is not going to help. Only the Dharma, peace of mind. When we're dying, only that moment, peace of mind, the Dharma, if you have, that will only that helps you. Through that we should determine a strong decision, determine it from bottom of your heart. I have to practice Dharma only. I have to use my precious human life is just for Dharma only. Determine it from bottom of your heart. And request to Lama Tsongkhapa, please bless us to purify all those the permanent grasping, the wrong consciousness, all the obstacles. Bless us the understanding the impermanence of death, cognizing the wisdom, understanding the impermanence of death can arising in this life. Now we're going to recite the Lama Tsongkhapa mantra. It's a 5-line. So we are going to I think we have also in Tibetan, right? So we are first going to recite in Tibetan the mantra 3 times with the tune. So when we're reciting this Tibetan mantra, we have to skip the third line. Third line, we skip it with the make a break. It's skipped and first, second, fourth, and fifth, reciting 3 times. So do this kind of, with the meditation of these kind of things, we visualize the Lama Tsongkhapa's his realization of impermanence and death meditation, form of nectar and dissolves into our heart, and we visualize to purify all the obstacles, and we visualize he bless us to understanding the impermanence and so forth. Out of that visualization, we are going to recite 3 times mantra. Loye santa bishab loye soy waiti me ai te ai ve ai te ai che re ai si ai me ai ke ai be ai wa po cha be ya Kanji ai ki ai bi ai zu ai ki ai zu ai kai ba lo ai san da bi ya wai lo ai so ai wai ti me ai te ai bi ai ti ai chi re ai si ai me ai ki ai bi ai wai po ya be ya kan ji ai ki ai bi ai zu ai ki ai zu ai kai ba lo ai san ta bi ya wai lai so wai di. Now we're reciting 1 time together in English. You are Avalokiteshvara, the great treasure of selfless compassion, and Manjushri, master of all his wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of Maras without exception, O Tsongkhapa Lobsang Trapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snow, I supplicate at your feet. Okay, now in conclusion practice, the dissolution prayer. So the death meditation, we knowing this, now we should use that, all this, try to get rid of our attachments for this mundane world. So yesterday is fear, worry, that's not benefit. We're looking in the reality world, one day I'm going to die, one day I'm going to, separate with all those material world, families and all these things. And the time of death is uncertain. Nobody knows. Doesn't matter how young, healthy, it doesn't matter. There are millions of beings are dying. So many conditions for the death. So understanding that we are aware about the death. So present moment, we should deal with our attachment on those mundane worlds. There's nothing guaranteed. There's not reliable. All this will be changed. So why are so attached to them? So when your mind is separate from those material world, then it makes you freedom. You will keep calm, stable. Even things going good, even things going bad, whatever things, it will change. So there's nothing to worry so much, that much. So it's keep your minds calm and these things. So that finally, we're going to do the dissolution prayer. So the Lama Tsongkhapa and all our gurus from of Lama Tsongkhapa, so he's very joy because of our practice. So he's feeling smiling, joyfulness, very close with us. So out of that joy, finally he dissolves into light and slowly go down through your center and dissolves into your heart. So out of that visualization, we are going to do the dissolution prayer. O glorious and precious root guru, please come to your lotus and moon seated my heart. Hold me your great kindness and remain strongly present until I attain the essence of Buddhahood. So finally, you visualize he dissolves into your heart. He bless your heart to keep your mind always with the Dharma. Now the dedication prayer. In life after life, Supreme Master Tsongkhapa, please guide me on the path of Mahayana. May I never be separated for even a moment from the stainless path pressed by the Buddhas. In all the lives that I shall take, may I be born in privileged circle with redeemed mind and without arrogance. May I be compassionate, and may I be respectful of my masters. May I abide by the commitments I make at the feet of the glorious masters. O glorious master, your physique, your followings, your longevity, your sphere of obedience, your special marks of excellence, may we too have them all by the power of having praised you and having prayed to you in the space of our habituation. May there be no illness, poverty, suffering, and dissensions. May truth prevail and auspiciousness abound. With the Buddha having appeared in the world, with the teaching shining bright like the sun, with the disciples being harmonious like sublime teachers and taught, may the teachings remain our mind for long. Now the Lamrim dedication prayer. From my two collection, vast as space, that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a very long time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom are blind by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be healed in your loving compassion for all my lives. Manjushri, may I find the best of complete graded parts of the teachings, and may I be please all the Buddhas by practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teaching for a very long time, with my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined. May I expose this treasure of happiness and age. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be great in boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by even the great course to enlightenment, completed due to the wondrous victory conducts of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellence paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path pressed by the Buddhas. Whenever someone make an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtues practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of true existence, while cause and effect and dependent arising are infathomable. I seek your blessing to discern the import of Nagarjuna's thought, that these two are complementary and not contradictory. May the precious and sublime Bodhicitta not yet born be born, and that which has been born not decline but increase forever. In the snowy mountain paradise, you are the source of good and happiness, powerful things in Gyatso Chenresi. May you stay until our ends. Okay, now that's all. Yeah, today's take very long day. But next time, now we're going to, this is the longest way. So if you want to do practice in your home, just follow, this detailed blessing. This is the sort of like a 6 preliminary practice. We have cleansing your room, then the mantra recitation, blessing the offerings, then 7 limb practice with a mandala offer, then requesting supplication. Then after that finish, then actual meditation. So whatever you meditate then after the dedication. So you can go very detailed, you can go very short way. So as long as when you know all those details, then you know how to make shorter, that practice. Okay, today that finished, we're going to leave here.